Hi, Sheila Kamuda here, and today I want to talk about what to do when you have so many tasks, hard to remember them all. Are to-do lists really working for you, or is there something else you can do? And so sometimes we initiate tasks. We have something that's going out, we know the date we have to send it out, we know the date we have to do a report, the date we have to set up a meeting, and these are easier to take care of. They can go on your to-do list, and you typically don't forget about doing them because you're initiating them. But sometimes you might forget it if there's a meeting that you have to plan 6 months down the road. So that's the first set of tasks you have that you initiate. There are other tasks that perhaps you requested information from somebody. Maybe it's a client, maybe it's a vendor, maybe it's an internal customer, maybe it's materials from someone, maybe it's something you have to remember down the road, something you're getting from somebody that you sent a request out and it's due back in 2 weeks. And those things fall through the cracks all the time because it's really hard to figure out what to do. And the key here is to-do lists are great, that's fine, but that's not going to help you with something like that. You need to have a trigger, something that's going to trigger you to remember to look at that task or check that task or follow up on that task. Have you ever sat in a meeting with somebody and one person is always reminding another person of a meeting they have to do or something they have to finish? Okay, they're using that person as their trigger. Not good. We don't want to do that. We have to be able to trigger ourselves, so like we're grown-ups, we don't have somebody telling us to do our laundry or go to bed or brush our teeth. And that's our parents usually that work as triggers, but we have to do it ourselves. And the best thing that I have found for myself, and I do think this works, is besides having a to-do list, which is fine, that's all great, that lists everything in the world that you have to do, is really to use your calendar. And if you try to use your calendar and mark the dates that things are due, it's really very helpful. But the first step is this. Write down lists of all the tasks you have. Now, I'm not talking about the every week tasks that you're never going to forget. Not those. I'm talking about the ones that come once every 6 months, every 3 months, every 2 weeks, something that comes sporadically, but they're very, very important. You cannot forget to do them or the project or whatever it is will fail. And so write those down. What are those? What are those tasks? Okay. Then once you have them on a sheet of paper, get out your calendar and look in past history, whatever it is, and write down next to them what month you typically do those in. Oh, I do those always in October. Okay, why do I have to figure this out every time? Just write it down, October, whenever you do those tasks. So you have your list, and you have when you usually do them. And then go into your calendar and note those dates, the things you have to do, that you have to send something out, or the dates that you're expecting something back, and note them in your calendar. I have also found that if I print out a January through December, calendar, or a yearly calendar, and that I could type in, and they have these online that you can type in, I actually will go into whatever month it is and just pick a random date. It doesn't really matter as long as it's in that, maybe it's in the first week of that month that you typically do this task. You write all of these things down, you type them up in these calendars, you print these out, and you have a monthly calendar, and I tend to keep things that I need like that in a binder, sort of like my Bible binder. Everything that I kind of need is in there. So if I have to refer back to when do I typically set up a meeting for this, that, and the other, I can go back and here, flip through them. I'm like, oh yeah, I usually do that in April. Okay, that's when I do that. This is when and there's so many details we handle that it's amazing that more things don't fall through the cracks. And we're trying to remember them. And we're trying to use to-do lists to do them, but that's not the way. Really use a calendar, write it down, figure out when you do them, and put them on your calendar. And then you do not have to worry about them ever, ever again. Triggers are the answer, and this is how you do it. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.